Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Schlafly. Thank you so much. I mean, obviously they're like, known for St. Louis and all this good stuff. But actually, I'm curious. Like, if you live in St. Louis, like, what is a Schlafly beer for you? For me, it was this guy because I would go on Beer Advocate and look up, top beers, and they actually produce one of the top-rated, I believe it's still probably up there, top-rated pumpkin ales on all of Beer Advocate, now Untapped. Beer Advocate's not really a thing anymore. It's Untapped these days. Back in the day, it was this guy, Stevens Point Whole Hog, if you know that beer. Good Gourd Almighty, but it's like, variant. I don't think they make that anymore. And for shame, they did send Good Gourd like once. Dude, I could drive to freaking Cigar City in like an hour and a half, and they don't distribute it. It's freaking stupid. It's a pumpkin beer. Like, if you make one of the greatest pumpkin beers in the world, why would you not at least send it out around Florida? Like, why let Pumpkin, which is terrible, by the way. Last time I reviewed that was so bad. Let that dominate the market. Pfft, whatever. Who knows? I love a Good Gourd. But I also love this beer, and it's been a long time since I've had this beer. So let's talk about this beer. Pumpkin beers. We're in the pumpkin beer season. Surprisingly enough, well, not that surprisingly. This was bottled about 3 weeks ago. Right about 3 weeks ago. They say keep it in the fridge. Interesting. Yeah. Good advice. Full body. Sweetness. Tastes like pumpkin pie. What's the ABV on this guy? 8%. Yeah, 8%. 8%. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Beer comes in a nice kind of medium to deep amber color. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Slightly light tan head. Oh yeah. Ginger, nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, but more of that stuff. Yeah, I'm not a full cinnamon bomb. I'm definitely getting a good amount of that kind of like ginger, nutmeg, allspice kind of thing going on. Yeah, beautiful spice character. Yeah, a little spicy, like that ginger spice. Like I'm like quite nice. Nice kind of toasted pie crust breadiness. Not super cinnamony, which like sort of like I find hints at it's kind of like graham cracker / pie crust kind of thing. Not too much of that, but really like leading on that kind of like really nice kind of. You know what? It has like a ginger snap cookie kind of thing going on. Interesting. Cheers. Gingerbread cookie, yeah. Oh yeah. Nice creamy mouthfeel. A little bit of booze moving on the way down. There's a nice vanilla note in here too. I'm curious if they use a little bit of vanilla in here too. Nice kind of like toasted breadiness up front, a little bit of that kind of pie crust action, a little bit of that kind of sweet brown cookie action kind of thing. I'm thinking of like a brown sugar cookie thing. A little bit of that kind of like cooked vegetable pumpkin thing, which is quite nice. Warm spices coming through. Again, firing on the ginger. Cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of allspice thing going on. The alcohol is quite nice. Offers like a nice mouthfeel, creaminess again, like medium plus bodied, creamy mouthfeel. Yeah, dries out quite nicely. A little bit of kind of lingering, kind of like crumb kind of dessert action. And anyway, talking about the beer, 8%, right? That's sort of like that's one of the highlights of this beer, in my opinion, because again, you think of pumpkin. Halloween, pumpkin, and pumpkin, you really mean desserts, pumpkin desserts. And if you're going to have a pumpkin dessert, it's going to have like richness, body, sweetness, da-da-da-da. What are you going to do with that at like 5%? It's just going to be hard to sort of imitate those flavors. Up to 8%, you get a bolder, bigger beer, more desserty, right? I mean, think about it. You can't really make a pastry stout at 4%, 5%, right? Like, if you're going to amp it all up, you got to go alcohol, sweetness, it all, whatever, progresses together. And that's what here. I will say, it's got a little heat to it. Granted, I've had a really long day and really haven't eaten much today, so there's that. But, it's got a little heat to it, but you know what? That's a good thing. It's a light little sipper. A little bit of dessert action, let it cool down. Granted, in Florida, it doesn't really get cold down here for a while. But for you guys in cold temperatures, yeah, come October, put a sweater on, a little flannel, Get this guy, little campfire, sipping on this guy, beautiful. Wonderful thing about this beer is its elegance, balance, and I mean balance just by like it's not an overly sweet beer, even though it has reminders. It really allows malt to show off its kind of complexity, and then the alcohol also plays into that, so has a bold richness to it, but it's not syrupy, sweet, nor overly spiced. Yeah, a well constructed beer. And I like there's like beautiful brown sugary sweetness in the middle. Curious where that's coming from. Probably the malt, along with the booziness, right? Got a little booze to it, 8%, all right. But it doesn't turn out too cloying or cloying or heavy on the spicing, right? So I like the construction on this beer. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be one of the best pumpkin beers you're gonna run into. Yeah, for sure. I'm not particularly like a huge like, oh, I love pumpkin. Well, actually, sorry, the top tier pumpkin beers I actually do adore. To the rest of them, and again, top tier. I can literally think of like a handful. So, oh, actually, you know what? You know a sneaky brewery that those are good ones? Elysian, even though they're like bought up by AB InBev, blah 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 blah. Elysian makes some good stuff. That's good. I like that. Really. I mean, I don't know if it's a compliment to the beer. It really almost drinks like 9.95, but it's only 8%. Okay. 94. I really like this beer. Schlafly Pumpkin Ale. Thank you for sending this one out. Absolutely fantastic. Love the swag. And I gotta wash the hat's like dirty. I gotta wash that. Until next time, guys. Cheers later.